Now, some people politicize the storm. It always happens. You're not a global warming guy, correct? You're
No,
not
I'm not a man-driven global warming guy. I believe the globe warms and cools, and the cyclical
by
nature
a
of
natural state. Okay. But now in 2017, are we in a cycle on Earth that is intensifying storms?
No, we were this year. We caught this back in May. A preseason forecast said this is the year it's going to end because you could see the pattern shaping up.
So
Look,
this is
here's
the last big storm, surge, hurricane fall season?
well, no, I have to go and look and see what the field looks like next year. We had 12 years in a row when it wasn't, and oddly enough, global warming may have contributed to that. You know why? Because it changes the surface pressure patterns over North America and the North Atlantic at the heart of the hurricane season. And when you do that, you disrupt the normal process. What do hurricanes do? They take heat out of the tropics, redistribute them into the temperate regions. That is their natural process. Well, if that's already gone, we don't need hurricanes. So that's why over the last, the global ACE index, accumulated cyclonic energy, has not gone up. It's actually gone down the other way. The problem with people with this whole global warming thing is they don't understand that the warming is also disproportionate. It's occurring where it's very cold and very dry during their cold, dry seasons, much more, but it's all totaled up so it looks like, oh my goodness, the whole globe's warming up. That's not true.
Jemele Hill does not know him, cannot defend this. If I interviewed Miss Hill, she would be a puddle when I got through with her. But she takes it upon herself to tweet, okay, Donald Trump is a white supremacist who has largely surrounded himself with other white supremacists. So, I guess I was used to Ben Carson, Nikki Haley, but be that as it may. All right, then she says, she's in a dialogue on Twitter, never a good thing for a public person. She says to this person who disputes that, the height of white privilege is being able to ignore Trump's white supremacy because it's no threat to you. Well, it's a threat to me, Jemele Hill. It's a threat to you, Miss Hill? You've got one of the primo jobs in sports broadcasting. I mean, and your co-anchor, when I watched, was African-American as well. Both people at the desk were African-Americans. So you're threatened by the President of the United States in what way? He's trying to lift the economy to 3% growth a year so all workers can do better. Because under the previous president, nobody did real well. So she goes on to say that, this is Jemele Hill, Trump is the most ignorant, offensive president of my lifetime. His rise is a direct result of white supremacy, period. Okay, so again, like Colin Kaepernick, I mean, Jemele Hill is entitled to her point of view. She tweeted this. She didn't say it on ESPN. But ESPN has an enormous problem. Enormous problem. She's not a commentator, Jemele Hill. She's the anchor of SportsCenter. Do you consider this a threat to the Republic, this overwhelming bias that the national media has?
Not really, because, again, if you look at the public, if the media was as well respected as they were, say, a generation ago, I think President Trump's ratings would be about 15% given all this. The media are, I think they're cementing a lot of negative opinions about President Trump that may not have been as solid before all this coverage, but they're also solidifying the view that they're partisans and they're not, umpires in the game any longer, but they're political players. So they're discrediting themselves as well as trying to hurt a president. I think they're sort of pulling themselves out of the relevance that they used to have.
Donald Trump, in order not to be a hypocrite, cannot do an executive order to decide what DACA is going to be, how you're going to handle 800,000 kids. That's what President Obama did. He basically gave amnesty. Congress has to do it. The law will be written by the Republican majority in the House and the Senate. That's how it goes. So they're going to write a new law about how to deal with this part of the immigration mess. Trump can suggest, but he can't make law.